A couple in Petworth asked me last year, is the move to Arlington actually worth it? Or are we just running away from DC because we have a kid now? That is the most honest question I get, and it deserves an honest answer. I'm Blake Davenport with the Davenport Group at TTR Sotheby's International Realty. My team was the #1 real estate team in Arlington by sales volume in 2025, and a large part of what we do is help DC families make this exact decision. So here's what I actually tell them. No sales pitch, just the real picture. The obvious stuff first. Schools. If you're in Petworth or Shaw, you already know the DC public school situation is complicated. In North Arlington, the Westover and Yorktown clusters are rated 7 to 9 on greatschools.org. That's not a marketing line. That's why families move here. Space is another one. The row house that felt perfect at 29 starts shrinking fast when there's a kid, a dog, 2 people working from home. For what a $1 million Petworth house gets you, you're looking at a real yard, a garage, and a dedicated home office in Arlington, usually in the $1.5 to $2 million range, depending upon the neighborhood. But here's the thing people don't expect: the trail access. Sarah, the client who asked me that question, she bikes to the metro from Westover. She didn't have to give up what she left in DC. She just traded the Petworth streets for the W&OD trail. Here's what I also tell them. DC is genuinely great. Northwest DC has the density, character, and walkability that Arlington is still catching up to. If your identity is tied to being a DC person, the culture, the energy, and the neighborhood feel, that's a hard thing to give up. Arlington is not DC. It's cleaner, quieter, more suburban than people expect. Westover feels like a neighborhood. It doesn't feel like a city block. That's a bonus for some people, and that's a loss for others. I'd rather you know that before you sign anything. Most DC families I work with have more equity than they realize, but it's also important to be realistic about what that looks like. A Petworth row house bought in 2019 for $900,000 has probably appreciated $50,000 to $100,000 since then. That's meaningful equity, but it's also not a full down payment on its own. At a $1.8 million purchase, 20% down is $360,000. Most families are bridging that with the combination of their DC equity and savings they build up over the same period. James and Sarah spent about 3 months just running the numbers before they were ready to move. That's the right approach. Some clients also look at renting their DC row house instead of selling, keeping it as an income property while they buy in Arlington. It depends on your cash flow and whether you want to be a landlord. We walk through both scenarios every time. So is it worth it? Here's my honest answer. If schools are a top priority, if you want more space, and if you're willing to be 15 minutes from DC instead of in it, then yes, Arlington delivers on all three consistently. If walkability, city energy, and neighborhood character matter more to you than square footage and school ratings, don't move. Stay in DC and own that decision. There's nothing wrong with it. The families I've seen struggle with this move are the ones that moved because they thought they were supposed to. The ones who thrived are the ones who moved because Arlington gave them something DC couldn't. If you're in that in-between place, thinking about it but not sure, text me directly at 703-350-8800. We've helped dozens of DC families work through this exact decision, and we'll give you the straight read on whether the timing is right for yours. No pressure, just an honest conversation.